If you are seeing this video during this time, I am on the hiatus. You want to check out the video for a little bit more details, but to keep that brief, it is a death of my family. I'm still doing some funeral planning at this time, so thank you very much for your understanding. Hey guys, Wolvie here with a special presentation on RWBY. Now, before I get into the specific topic, this is going to be in 3 parts because, quite honestly, there's just too much information for me to really put it in one video. So let's get to it. So this is the potential future of RWBY part 1 of 3. Now you kind of wondering what on earth is going on here. What's this all about? So basically, there is some speculation on Twitter that I found yesterday afternoon along the lines of AT&T trying to sell Rooster Teeth. And in turn, this affects RWBY. Now, the reason why this is in 3 parts, because, one part's going to be what's going on, which is this part. Part 2 is the historical aspect of AT&T, their actions, what led them up to this point. Part 3 is going to be my overall opinion on the matter. So basically, the first 2 parts are going to be just the facts with a little opinions here and there. So the usual disclaimer applies in any case. Any opinion in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. So, like I said, I was looking at Twitter, and there were talks of AT&T trying to sell Rooster Teeth. So, me being me, I actually had to do a little bit of research to see if this was any true. If any of it was true. And I did a little bit, after that little research, it is unfortunate for me to see that AT&T is considering on selling Rooster Teeth. Now, how did this be? All the other stuff will be explained in this part as well as part 2. Because, like I said, there's just too much information going on here for me to do it in one video. Because it's just it's so much to take in. So, unfortunately, AT&T is trying to sell Rooster Teeth, or they're at least considering that factor. Now, what on earth happened? What's going on? Now, some people are mentioning, Rooster Teeth's going to be just fine. Godzilla versus Kong, that sort of thing. As well as, other things. However, those who are, pro Rooster Teeth, pro RWBY, I ask you guys very kindly to not assume that things will be okay. Because there's some stuff on AT&T that's, you might want to think twice. Now, certain things here is just yeah, we do know that, unfortunately, yeah. So, I'm going to pause this video, and I'm going to I'll be back in about maybe in a minute or 2, so that way, I can get to at least, a search engine, that sort of thing. So, I'll be back. Okay, so I am back. So, you're actually going to see me type this in. So, that way, you guys get to see what I'm doing. And, yeah, I'm not the world's best speller, so... Okay, so you guys get to see here, this is a bit of a hot topic, so and you guys are seeing me do this live, so hey, I'm actually doing something. So, you guys get to see here, and we're going to... So, for people who are mentioning that sort of thing, so, you got a wide variety of sources all confirming that AT&T is considering on trying to sell Rooster Teeth. So, yeah, this is not good news for those who are pro Rooster Teeth, pro RWBY. Now, you're kind of wondering, okay, what's going on? Now, so basically, this is all this stuff right here. So this is pretty much what is going on. So you have multiple sources confirming the same exact thing. Now, for this particular part of the three-parter, like I said, we're just going to go into what's exactly going on. This is exactly what's going on. So they're considering to sell Rooster Teeth now. You're kind of wondering, yeah. So you can pretty much fill in the blanks. So the thing is, with AT&T, they are the ones who has Otter Media, Rooster Teeth's parent company. So Otter Media is pretty much the subsidiary for AT&T, Time Warner. And the thing is that Otter Media is the parent company of Rooster Teeth. So it's one of those things is that, yeah. So pretty much this is what we're looking at right now. For those of you who are pro Rooster Teeth, pro RWBY, this is not that great of news. Now, we're going to go into one other item for this particular part. And and like I said, for this one's going to be like, what's going on, the financial aspect. So this is based off of something I noticed on Twitter yesterday. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to go into this one right here. I'll have this particular link you see here in the description below. That way you guys can read all about it. So this is, I believe, this is actually the article I wanted to provide because that way it's a little bit more of a reliable source. So, like I said, part 2 is going to be the historical aspect of AT&T's actions and how it led up to this point. And by that, how it's going to affect Rooster Teeth, Otter Media, that sort of thing. So we have here something about the first quarter 2021, and this is about Godzilla versus Kong because one of the replies I've seen does evolve around Godzilla versus Kong. Now, the actual reply does mention that they think that Godzilla versus Kong will get AT&T out of debt. But like I said, there's more to the debt here that AT&T has. So you might want to stay tuned for the number. So basically, it's just like, they're referring to Godzilla versus Kong that's going to get AT&T out of debt. Because, the revenue, all this stuff. But in this article, they're saying that don't count on it too soon. You do not want to assume things before it becomes fact or if it becomes false in the end. Because we don't know the numbers, it's too soon to tell. And the number, I'm going to be taking a pause for that one because you want to get the actual number, so I will be back. And I am back, so that 164B, that B is for billion. That is the amount of debt AT&T is said to be in. Now, according to some sources, they have some money, set aside, that can probably offset some of it. But it's barely going to not put a dent into it. And with that number, it's going to be around $145 billion in debt AT&T is in. So depending on your source, in all, it's anywhere between $145 billion and $164 billion. Now, for AT&T, they supposedly sold off some stuff to offset some of their debt. So basically, do I think Godzilla versus Kong is going to get AT&T out of debt? No. It's going to do, barely going to put a dent into it. So, unfortunately, it is what it is. But you have a number like this in debt, and that's billions of dollars, United States currency. It's not a small number, and I I mean, like I said, I personally don't think Godzilla versus Kong will put much of a dent into it. So, I mean, this will not influence my final thoughts on this in part 3. But to do a super quick recap, AT&T is in a good chunk of change in debt. You get to see number here, it being $164 billion United States currency. Some people mentioning that Godzilla vs. Kong is going to get them out of debt. That's not going to be the case because Godzilla vs. Kong could probably put in a few $1 billion, but it's not going to be enough. And in all honesty, I mean, like I say, AT&T is considering selling Otter Media, which has Rooster Teeth as well. And that could very well change things, but we don't know because it's far too soon to tell. So, like I said, in part 2 is going to be the historical aspect of things, what got AT&T up to this very point, and having them considering selling Otter Media and Rooster Teeth. And part 3 is just my opinions on all the matters. So, we're going to go into this one, so I can have this link in the description below as well. So, like I said, this is part 1. And the reason why I just don't want to do everything in one take, because it's like, in all honesty, it's just like too much work for me to do, considering I have a family emergency and my job. So it's one of those things where it's like, I want to make sure I get 3 parts in, so that way you guys get to see part 1, the financial aspect, what's going on. Part 2 is the historical aspect, what actions was taken that led up to this point in time. Part 3 is going to be my overall thoughts on everything, because in all honesty, I mean, for me, having 3 parts is a little easier for me to do on an overall scale. So, to do a quick recap to end part 1, AT&T is considering selling Otter Media and Rooster Teeth. We do know that AT&T stock, they're about anywhere between $145 and $164 billion in debt United States currency at this moment in time, depending on your source. And Godzilla vs. Kong, in my personal opinion, will not get AT&T out of debt because the number is simply too high. And unfortunately, that's that on that. So, with Wolvie here, signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.